Ms. Klazenga, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Well, it is International Condom Day, but here in South Africa, it looks like, unfortunately, we are faced with a decrease in the use of condoms.
Good morning, Dan. That's exactly right. And so I'm here with my props to talk about condoms today. I think we really need to encourage young people to start using condoms. And what the AIDS Healthcare Foundation is doing is we're trying to refocus people and convince them that condoms are fun and that safer is fun. And particularly now that we're having what are really rolling blackouts, candlelight is definitely going to be the order of the day tomorrow. So I'm expecting a lot of romance on Valentine's Day. And with romance, we want condom use.
Now, the message about condoms, I mean, from your perspective, is quite simple, especially in our country where they are for free.
Absolutely. They're free of charge. What we're finding is that young people, I think because they weren't really witness to the ravages of AIDS that we were seeing 15 years ago, really don't think that they need to use them. HIV is seen as a manageable disease, and it is, and antiretroviral medication works, but because we've been so successful, we need to remind people that HIV is still a really problematic infection, and is a very simple way to ensure that you don't get infected, that you don't get STIs, that you don't get pregnant. Condoms, they're free, they don't cause side effects, and they're available pretty much everywhere.
Yeah. Now, from what you know, I mean, what could be the reasons? I mean, besides what you've just mentioned, I saw a report that's saying people sort of tend to trust their partner and then they don't want to use a condom. And also there's issues of power relations where somebody is the provider and somebody depends on them, and then they can't really demand that the partner must use a condom each time they have sexual intercourse.
Well, I think there are a couple of things that have created this perfect storm. The first is absolutely power relations. Gender-based violence is a huge issue. The economic situation in the country results in women generally earning less than men, and so that makes them financially reliant on men, which makes it more difficult for them to negotiate safer sex. We also know that there are fewer condoms available in South Africa now than there were 2 years ago. Government, for whatever reasons, whether it's supply and demand, but there's a reduction in the number of condoms being made available to people, so by about a third. So condoms are slightly less available, and it's very difficult sometimes for women to negotiate for their use, and layer on top of that substance abuse issues. When you've been drinking a lot, if you're too drunk to drive, often it's quite difficult to use a condom. Your motor skills go. So what we're encouraging people to do is maybe drink a little less and love a little longer.
Yeah. Now, there's also an issue in people saying, but using a condom reduces sexual pleasure, and also the fact that, it's not fun. What kind of messages do you think we need to come up with to ensure that we increase the usage of condoms? Because, of course, it is important, especially in the fight against HIV, AIDS, and other sexually transmitted diseases.
I think it's vitally important, and something that the AIDS Healthcare Foundation really wants people to know is that you can use condoms to increase playfulness and fun around Valentine's Day and every other time you're trying to explain to people, explain to your partner that you want to be romantic. Leaving a few condoms around the bedroom is a clear message that somebody's getting lucky tonight, which is a good idea. And more importantly than that, if you use condoms correctly, if you're using a male condom, what you're going to find is that it prolongs erection because there's a tight band around the bottom, so you will be able to love a little longer, which is a scientific fact and a very happy piece of news for ladies on Valentine's Day. And if you want to be really prepared, ladies, we encourage you all to use the female condom. You can put it in before you go on your date, be prepared, and if you have a latex allergy, female condoms are latex free, so there's no excuse not to use them.
Thank you very much, Larissa Klazenga from the AIDS Healthcare Foundation.